funny when guys are saying, anyway, go back to your original point. When I would listen to Gary Vee or I would listen to Alex Hormozy say something that was just like, bro, if I said that, no one would care at all. And then I say stuff that's crazy and it gets some views. And I feel like it feels very much like Chad Thunder giving dating advice. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself, bro. By the way, another guy I'm a huge fan of, which is Chris Williamson. He actually has a video where he goes, just be yourself. Not because it's going to make more people like you. It won't. But because that's the only way you can authentically know, blah, 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 whatever he said. And I think that what he's saying in a vacuum is actually true. But the problem is Chris Williamson is a male model telling men to just be themselves. And he doesn't, I don't know if he sees what he's doing, that he's in the date, whether or not he knows it, he's in the dating space. He's in the intersexual dynamics, evolutionary psychology space. He certainly would not say that he's in the manosphere, but he is in the manosphere, whether or not he knows it. And he's getting criticized on these evolutionary psychology criticism videos just like I am. I'm in the video and so is he. We're both getting criticized for this. In these situations, when he says, just be yourself, it's like they lost. Remember we talked about the guys in academia who lost touch with reality? Yeah. The really good-looking YouTube streamer who makes $1 million a month, who has women throwing themselves at him, giving dating advice. He's lost touch with reality, and he's telling men to just, you need to be more vulnerable and be yourself and open up to these women. I'm like, no, dude, you can be vulnerable and open up to women because you're a 10 and you're rich. Yeah. The homeless guy can't be vulnerable to women, bro. The 5'4" Indian dude can't be vulnerable to women in the beginning. He needs to look like a killer in the beginning to generate attraction. You've already got attraction. That's why you don't know the difference. Women don't want men to buy them flowers. They want women women don't want men to buy them flowers. They want men they're attracted to buy them flowers. Women don't want men to be vulnerable. They want men they're attracted to be vulnerable. When you look like Iman Ghazi and you look like Chris Williamson, women are already attracted to you. You can be vulnerable and you can be yourself. The rest of us don't look like you, bro, and we can't do that. And that's the thing. You have to remember that. And that's one of the reasons why I think my company quadruples in size every year is because I still remember what it was like to be poor and have women reject me. And I go to that place whenever I talk to my clients and I don't give them this, oh, what do you do? It's like, oh, you just do what I do. Throw a bikini competition for $130,000 and have 700 women show up. Like, that's what I don't tell my clients to do that. That's what I do. Yeah. That's not what I tell my clients to do. I'll just host Swimsuit USA like I do every summer, every fall, and you could have 75 girls compete for your attention. That's what I do. That's not what I'm going to tell you to do. But because I know better, and that's the problem. Is like some of these guys are out of touch. You'll notice. I've seen you post pictures with girls on your IG. You've seen the content creators like, you should never post pictures with girls. You know why they're doing that? Because they're good looking guys, and that hurts their game. Yeah. And what happened? They f a girl, and the girl's like, I don't like that you post those pictures with those girls.
They get the wrong confirmation.
Sorry, Michael. A hot girl told me to not post pictures with hot girls. Therefore, pre-selection isn't real. Pre-selection hurts you. You guys notice how the people who tell you to not look like a player online are always really good-looking men or women who fuck players? You notice that? You ever notice that? Yeah. You ever notice how the really unattractive dude who has sex with hot women is not telling you to not look like a player? Because the player motif isn't bad. Yeah. Go ask Austin Dunham. Go ask Fitix Fearless. Go ask well, you can't ask him because he's passed away, but Alan Roger Curry. They talked about this. The player motif actually helps you because it generates attraction. I saw this one comment. This woman said, I can't stand when a guy looks like a player because he looks gay. And I'm like, but you call him a player because he's with women. Yeah. Do you not like, go? I wrote her. I was like, hey, take a second and go back and read the sentence you just wrote. If a guy looks like a player, he's getting women. Do you not see that? Is that part missed to you? But no, when a man gets a lot of women, she's losing power in the interaction, and she doesn't like that, so she needs to denigrate him. Of course, that's the whole reason why, guys. If women are complaining to you about something you're doing, it's because it's working.
Yeah. I noticed that too. Is like every time I would be on a date with a beautiful girl, she would bring it up that there was other photos with other women out there. And it's not just that she's bringing it up because she doesn't like it. She's bringing it up to fucking test me.
Yes.
Just to see how does he react. Is he really as cool as he looks like when he has all this fucking epic lifestyle on there? Because I'm just about to go home with this guy because of the epic fucking lifestyle, but I need to make sure he's fucking real and he's not just fucking faking it. Now, most men, especially when they're good looking, they never have the understanding of the social dynamics because they never fucking needed this. So now they're like, they seeing it as they're taking it as face value.
Every interaction, they skip step one.
Exactly.
Step one for you and me is build attraction. For them, they don't. They are 6'3" Australian with 6-pack abs and tattoo sleeves. They skipped step one at the beginning of their interaction, and so they want Sandeep from India, who's 5'5" and has no muscle mass. He skips step 1 too. Apparently, like I don't understand. No, he needs to build attraction.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, but like Chad Thundercock needs to understand that Sandeep needs to build attraction,
and that's exactly also the same in the business context too. Is like when you listen to Gary Vee, like I love Gary Vee, same as you. One of the biggest influences on my life, but then at the same time, I would never buy mentoring from him, for example, because he would tell me this watered down stuff that just wouldn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Because he's way too far ahead. Plus, I also believe once you're at a certain size, you can't say certain things because you need to be whitewashed enough for everything.
Yeah.
You got like fucking consultants around you. You got fucking people on your fucking staff. They're like, well, Gary, let's do a little bit more of this. You're beautiful no matter what stuff. That's good. That's really, really good. So your message becomes so watered down that it's too watered down to even be applicable.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the same thing why RSD became so fucking big, because they were the first ones that were not the fucking GQ article, like 3 bow ties that women will find you unbelievable in, They were just like, shut the fuck up, go out, bro, every fucking day. And the funny thing is, because we also talked about this earlier with content and with left versus right, there's a real need to have this nonsense, this is what you have to do kind of fucking advice that is not watered down, that is not forced into some sort of political correctness, that is just fucking real. Because we've talked like, all these tech companies are pushing down all these leftist agendas. Well, who's the greatest podcaster in the world?
Yeah.
The fucking Joe Rogan, that the whole space is trying to paint the picture of like he's this alt-right dude. No, he's a fucking common sense guy.
Yeah, Joe
Rogan
is not conservative.
He's not conservative.
Joe Rogan,
normal.
Absolutely. If you guys think Joe Rogan's a conservative, go watch the video of him explaining climate change to Candace Owens.
Yeah,
it's incredible. And all these Republicans are like, I can't believe you did this. And Candace Owens has no response for him. Because Joe Rogan is a moderate. What a moderate looks like to a liberal is, because a moderate uses logical terms and understands science, liberals see a moderate as a hyper-conservative, and that's essentially the problem. Liberals like to say, well, we use climate science in order to prove that there's climate change. So the climate change. And so they'll use science when it helps them there, but then when we express to them, hey, men and women are different, and here's the science to show that, then all of a sudden science is bigoted and racist.
Yeah, exactly.
They go, so which is it, bro? Like, I don't understand. Is science bigoted or racist? Like, evolutionary psychology, well, the reason why I spend so much time reading evolutionary psychology, the right does not like evolutionary psychology because of natural selection. It goes against the creation stories in the Quran and the Bible. And so a lot of people on the right don't like evolutionary psychology. People on the left don't like evolutionary psychology because it defines clear gender roles in our past. They don't have to be the same way now, but in our past. The median man is interested in many. The median man desires as many different sexual partners as the top 1% of women. Men desire more sexual variety than women do, period.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for this, and you can read Evolution of Desire and several other books that describe it. But now that we've got science involved, oh, shit, now it becomes a problem. If I'd say before, it's like, yeah, I don't really want to date a woman who's been with a lot of dudes before we get married. Women are like, dude, why are you so insecure? Don't you want a woman? You just want to control women. And then the GSS comes out with a survey showing that women that had more women who cheated in a marriage had 230% more sexual partners before they were married than women who didn't cheat. Now I brought science involved. Oh, well, I can't argue with them anymore. Canceled,
you're big,
ratioed, bigoted. That's what happens because I can't argue anymore because it's like what I'm saying is based in reality and logic. By the way, I go both ways with this. I also argue against flat earthers. I also argue against moon landing deniers. I argue against a bunch of other people. You see, most people on my side of the political aisle are pro-Russia and anti-Ukraine. And you heard me at the beginning of this whole thing. A lot of people right now are listening to this are super confused. They're like, wait a second. All the Republicans I know hate Ukraine. I don't understand. What is Michael Sartain doing? I am not going to be defined by groupthink.
That's the next thing.
I'm going to use logic to come to the things that I understand. You and I, like, if we were to discuss intersexual dynamics in dating, because you and I have had so many positive experiences with women, I know you and I are going to disagree on basically nothing. Mm-hmm. Because we live in the real world. Yeah. We're not detached from reality. Yeah. We'll go out and meet a girl who doesn't know who we are, and she's beautiful, and she wants to come home with us. That is not the reality for 99% of men. But because you and I have done that, we know if you and I were to share notes, hey, man, I walked into a club with a gorgeous woman and another gorgeous woman came up and talked to me, you're not going to be like, that's not true, Michael. The girl I had sex with the other day said that guys who are with girls look like players and they look gay. You're not going to say that because you know the truth. You've done the same thing.
Yeah.
So you know that that's true no matter what wokey nonsense. By the way, you guys whenever you hear the words insecure or whatever in the comments, you know that whatever's being said is probably true.
Woke.
Yeah. Whatever they're saying, guys, are probably worse. Like, who hurt you? This is immature, or this looks like high school stuff. Whenever you see those in the comments, then you know that the content is probably